I will take a moment to invite on the dais our esteemed panelists. First up, we have Dr. PJ Singh, founder, Tynor, and also a first-generation entrepreneur. And I also want to say that Tynor today is the #1 brand in India for orthopedic appliances and fracture aids, having exports to 50 countries with an enterprise of 2,500 crores. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Dr. PJ Singh, founder, Tynor. I mean, 2,500 crores should have been enough to get applause. Could we have a louder round of applause, please? And we have Mr. Partap Krishna Aggarwal, founder and CEO, IDS Infotech. And binding the panel is going to be our moderator, Mr. Hirdesh Madan, co-founder, Hitbullseye. All yours, Hirdesh, sir, to take it forward.
Thank you, Niharika. And Mohali, the way it has grown in last decade in IT is a story in itself. Punjab has been known for agriculture, but today the way Mohali has been growing, and yesterday we was talking to Ajay Shrivastava ji and saying that we have 60,000 workforce of IT in Mohali. We have a turnover of around 9,000 crore rupees, which is happening from Mohali. And these figures you may not be knowing, but that speak about the success story of Mohali. And when it comes to Mohali, none other than two panelists I have with me. And Mohali's story will be incomplete when we talk to these two gentlemen who have made it big. Yesterday, our TiE Global President Amit was wearing sling, and we were proudly telling him that this Tynor is a Mohali-based company, and we feel a lot of proud, and we are proud that this is one D2C brand which is across India, across places. And so my first question to PJ Singh sir is that you have seen that Mohali story, and you have grown along with the Mohali, and the Tynor has been one impeccable success story from the region, sir. We would love to know that how it happened, what are the things you did, and how the things moved, sir.
Thank you, Hirdesh. In fact, you started with the word Mohali. Let me tell you, this is the luckiest place. People have really grown here. जितना लोगों ने पैसा बनाया है इस सिटी से शायद कहीं नहीं बना होगा इंडिया में. Having said that, so we were in that lucky place. So I was just out of the college, was in research, then became a college lecturer, and then I thought of going into business. Nobody in my family was in business. मेरे को पता नहीं था क्या बनाना है. But then I had a very simple thought कि यार जो इंडिया import करता है इसका मतलब India is not manufacturing and India needs it. So I went to the DGFT's office. I say I come from the medical field. मेरे को बताओ इंडिया क्या import करता है into medical devices. And I was surprised to see कि इतना मोटा उसने किताब पकड़ा दिया. Thousands and thousands of things mentioned there. It appeared bloody India doesn't make anything. I'm talking of those 27, 28 years back. तो एक बारी तो बड़ी satisfaction थी कि कुछ भी बनाओ इंडिया को चाहिए. दूसरी तरफ but still my question was unanswered कि मेरे को क्या बनाना है. Then I went to the typical book कि क्या करना चाहिए. Go to the market, have a survey done, and this came out कि यार ये बनाओ. It is either imported and very expensive, and if it is made in India is very bad quality. So I thought if I am able to make a great product at an affordable price, I think I can win. But then that was the initial thought. After a few years, I realized that it is operational excellence, which is the most important thing once a startup's idea is good. So operational excellence became the core focus for me, and that helped us actually grow. And the third thing I would, in the same breath, add is the market validation, is the customer validation, is the customer is the king. और मैं believe करता हूँ कि customer is an extremist. If he loves your product, he will actually give you everything. He'll make you a king. And on the other hand, if there is a slight dissatisfaction, he will punish you. तो ये थोड़ा सा edge जो आप positive रखते हो अपने product का over the others is what I say the success sauce, right? So this is where I come from. This is how Tynor, took all the 3 steps right. और आप अभी मेरे से पहले स्पीकर्स बड़ी बात कर रहे थे लक की, तो मैं पहले सोचता था, I read a very simple quote by Albert Einstein. He says कि भी 2 तरह के लोग हैं दुनिया में, एक जो सब कुछ जो हो रहा है इस दुनिया में उसको चमत्कार समझते हैं, और दूसरे वो कहते हैं कि कुछ भी चमत्कार नहीं है. तो मैं पहले 10 साल 15 साल जब मेहनत कर रहा था तो मैं उस पहले सेकंड वाले में था कि कुछ भी चमत्कार नहीं है, एवरीथिंग इज लॉजिक. लेकिन व्हेन द कंपनी स्टार्टेड ग्रोइंग, देयर आफ्टर इट अपीयर्ड नो आइंस्टाइन्स फर्स्ट कोट कि सब कुछ चमत्कार है, बिकॉज देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ लक behind the success. I don't know whether you got your answer or not.
Great to hear from you, sir. And I can vouch that if you look at the products and the packaging, you will not imagine that's an Indian product. So that's hats off to you, sir. My next question to Partap Aggarwal, sir. And sir have been, when I think of IT and I think of IT in Mohali, the first name comes to me is IDS. And sir have been instrumental in bringing IT and developing IT in Mohali. My question to you, sir, is आज इंडस्ट्री एक स्टेज पे है, AI आ गया है, हमारी कंपनीज बड़ी डाइवर्स फील्ड में काम कर रही हैं. मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि चैट जीपीटी के आने के बाद आई हैव बीन रीडिंग सम आर्टिकल्स दैट SEO कंपनीज इन फ्यूचर इज गोइंग टू बी ट्रबल बिकॉज पीपल विल नॉट गो टू द इंडिविजुअल साइट्स and fetch data. Chat GPT is going to scan those sites and get and collect data, right? So business dynamics are changing. So sir, with context to Mohali, what Mohali can do in IT and what ideally message to the young budding companies what they should be doing in IT?
Hirdesh, thank you so much for asking this question. few comments very quickly. One, to build on you, Mohali is a lucky place. For some reason, we all feel that. I started very small. I came back from the US, started a very small venture there. It's a very small place, and now I have 3 different facilities, 1,500 seats working there, and very successfully. So I feel that Mohali is a lucky thing in our life, and so all of you should take that as a big rub off. Then Mohali is a place which gives you some kind of a tailwinds all the time. That is one aspect. The second, back to your question, and also, sorry, I'll add to this, right from the mainframes to the PCs to the internet to mobile and then to AI. I think the whole journey of the IT, our industry, we have seen it running through Mohali. Sitting in Mohali, we've seen right from 79 till now, right up to the AI. So few things which are required, I think now. We have seen about, as per the NASSCOM's report, 650,000 professionals are already ready for AI in the country. Which is a good number. It's a large number. I can it's a large number, but I think somewhere we in Mohali have, we do not have the the right approximation or the right appropriate number there in this side. So one of the largest challenges, the largest things are, we need some kind of AI academy or AI initiative which can bring the AI readiness to large number of companies which are operating. That's one big thing. The second thing I can mention is the area which I obviously talked to our CM also and many times in many interactions, is the area of the branding. I think somewhere our branding in Mohali needs an extra flip. I mean, you arrive at the airport should say you have arrived at the IT city. I always say that. It doesn't say that. It doesn't tell you that, hey, look, you have arrived in a place which is large number of companies working. You talk about 60,000 guys working in that part. It doesn't reflect that. So I think some more work is required for branding or uplifting the branding of Mohali. And I think we all in the room need to work towards that. Of course, government could be facilitator in that direction, but that's a very big ask for Mohali to continue growing if we invest on the branding of that.
In fact, I fully agree with what you said and echo that somehow Mohali still is doing great in IT, but still we are not labeled as that we have been doing so good. But I'm very sure in times to come, this will filter away. And my next question is to PJ Singh sir, is that you have been great supporter of startups and entrepreneurs. So my question is that what kind of initiatives you have taken from Tynor to facilitate the ecosystem and probably the startups from the region?
Well, I think startup is what is the future for India. Startup culture can change India into a really developed economy. This is how I feel. So we always wanted to put our bit into it. So what do we do at Tynor so as to support startup culture? Number one we do is that we have almost every fortnight at least 100 students from applied sciences, maybe the business degrees or the engineering degrees, they visit us. So we have a very standardized program where they visit us, they have a round of the plant, and then they have an open house. So we answer their questions, and we actually let them be there for a day. As a result, they get, first of all, they understand what is the culture inside, and we actually excel in Toyota production system or lean management. We help them understand that, and we try to answer their inner questions that they have. We try to do that. That's one part of it. Second is, we have a full mentorship program. I am attached to IKP Hyderabad. It's an incubator. So what do we do? That's a week-long program. So anybody who has an issue on the production side, so we ask them to stay with us for a week. And in a week's time, we are able to solve most of its problem, because then there are about, let's say, 50 mentors within our company, the seniors of our company, in each field. They are able to solve their small problems. And let me tell you, most of the startups have great ideas, but then implementation is what they lack, or operational excellence. Third, what we do is that we invest in startups. So we are very clear that today the right investment is in a right startup. So we have invested in them. So that's the third thing we do in the startup, this thing. And of course, we have around 10 trained professionals, I would say our seniors, who go to colleges and talk about entrepreneurship. So these are 3-4 initiatives that we do to help the ecosystem.
Thank you, PJ sir. Heartening to know that the way you have been open about students visiting your premises, factories, learning about the kind of work you have been doing. I think that's how you propagate the good practices and other people follow it. My next question is to Partap sir. Is that a lot of startups open in IT, and for most of them the easiest thing is start making either websites or start doing some sundry SEO work. Still, I see a lot of potential which is spread over. Now, what is your advice to the new budding? Because either sometimes they lack focus or they start doing multiple things which doesn't lead to a success. So what exactly they should be doing? Either people who are thinking of starting in IT or who are at an early stage. Especially solution side, because we don't have more product companies here. So from the context of solution companies.
I always use a framework called OLBE framework. That is my own term. The O stands for opportunity. I think somebody earlier speakers talked about it. Many startups talk about their own product, their own capability, but they don't talk about the opportunity side. And even the ones which we mentor, we realize that many of them have not mapped the market correctly. They have not gone to the demand analysis. They have not done it religiously. They some have a gut feeling, yeah, this should sell, this will work, and they're only focusing on their delivery side of the product. So first advice, please work on the opportunity side rather than on the supply side. The opportunity is the largest. The more you map it up, more you go into detail. I mean, to the extent, I sometimes ask, somebody guy says, hey, look, I'm building this product. I have built this product for the US physician. And I said, okay, you build it up, you're going to roll. Okay, which physician, which state? He said, all US. I said, oh, can you name 5 states to me where you can do? Can you name me 10 clinics where you can go to? They haven't done that level of details. So the opportunity mapping is my first view. The second is the leadership. The L stands for the leadership part. Many of them are loners, alone. They're just working with somebody, and there's a lack of leadership there. The aspect of there's no core team. You ask them about the core team. This is the guys have left. Somebody has not joined. So there's a strong element missing in the startups in building or investing into the leadership. The B is the business model, which I won't say much because most of them understand. Somebody talks about SaaS or somebody talks about a different way of integrating with the customer. That is a business model. And obviously, many of them jump straightway into the execution. My view is spend more time in the first O and L and then spend time on the execution side. Many of them just straightway jump into the execution and say, look, we are doing this, and that is where the problem is.
You're absolutely right, sir, because I have been on a panel of multiple, seed committees, and one challenge I see, people say, I have innovated, and people have no idea so many successful companies are already working on that, running on that, because you have seen not seen the word, and you think what you see is the only word. That's the bigger problem we see. But I think on a note, one thing is very good, at least people are upcoming. At least 25 years back, entrepreneurship was a sacred cow. I'm saying people are afraid to jump. Today I see youngsters brimming with that hope, that energy. They might be left and right, but they have that energy, they have that vision that they want to do something. As Ankur also said, they want everything quick. So one advice, quick advice, because we are just running short of time. One answer, this thing. What is your 2-liner advice to the people who want to start up?
See, first of all, to everybody sitting in the hall, don't waste that passing thought that comes to your mind. मेरे को लगता है कि lots of brilliant ideas we just waste, and after 1,000 brilliant ideas that come to our mind, one gets implemented. I think we should be more courageous enough कि इतने brilliant ideas हैं, let's put them into implementation. That's the first thing. Second is, today the opportunities are abundant. Government is doing so much. My time, 25 years back, there was nothing like this. Today, the government is supporting through 100 schemes. There are venture capitalists, there are angel investors, there are government schemes, and there are everything that you can think of, incubators and everything. And many schemes which I think a list is so long. You go there and you get so many grants. But let me tell you, first of all, that whatever your idea is, ideas are great. You absolutely know. I believe in operational excellence, because getting that idea into the implementation stage and then getting it right so that the product that you create out of it, customer loves it and it is scalable thereafter. Operational excellence is very important, and never lose the sight of the customer validation. So these are the 3 things that we followed in Tynor, and today I will almost say that yes, they are valid even today. And the kind of country that we are in today, the times that we are in today, India is the best place to work and grow. And there cannot be a better government, both at the center and the state, who's supporting the ecosystem of startups. You are lucky guys, and many billionaires will come from this, I'm sure.
Partap sir, your 2 quick lines about
PJ, you almost said everything what I wanted to say. We are lucky to be an entrepreneur at this point of the time. The ecosystem is ready. You always talk about it. I think one more thing add to that. There is a arbitrage you start sensing. A human being is getting very empowered with the new tech tools like AI, and the business practices are still lagging behind. So there is an arbitrage between the business model and the technologies which are available across the whole world. And I think that is what you should sense as an entrepreneur. If you sense that arbitrage, I promise you, you will definitely have a new S-curve coming in your business very soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
My
Partap.
personal experience, one line, last line, that startups which got adopted by, matured companies early on saw a greater success rate than who worked all alone. So early adoption by a bigger company can be an easy method to, grow once the idea is great.
So just finish with one line that at TiE, we all are open to mentorship. It's not important whether you are TiE member or not, but TiE have been always supporting of this mentorship. And with this note, thank you very much for both gentlemen for giving us, coming here and spending time with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for that conversation. And there's a famous saying that the grass on the other side is always greener. But I believe if we take the time to water the one on our own end, it'll be just as green. It's just about nurturing and caring for it in the right way. Thank you so much, everyone. And to felicitate our respected panel, may I please call on the dais Dr. Anand Deshpande, founder and chairman, Persistent Systems. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Dr. PJ Singh, founder, Tynor. Ladies and gentlemen, please also give it up for Mr. Pratap Krishna Aggarwal, founder and CEO, IDS Infotech. And our moderator, Mr. Hirdesh Madan, co-founder, Hitbullseye. And of course, our esteemed speaker, Dr. PJ Singh, founder, Tynor. Of course, group photographs are important to document the moment. And for our moderator, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hirdesh Madan, co-founder, Hitbullseye. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much for that wonderful conversation. Let's now quickly slide into the next conversation on our agenda. बस एक ही बात कहना चाहूँगी कि जो गिरकर संभल जाता है अक्सर जिंदगी को समझ जाता है. शून्य से यूनिकॉर्न तक का सफर, इसका मतलब सिर्फ एक ही हो सकता है, गिरकर संभलना, संभलकर गिरना और फिर गिरकर फिर संभलना. आइए इस यूनिकॉर्न के सफर की गहराइयों तक जाते हैं और जानते हैं the journey to the unicorn, how exactly it is, and let's take on some lessons in building high-value startups. Ladies and gentlemen, to do the honors on this panel, I would like to invite on the dais Mr. Nitish Jain, founder of Business, Mr. Manish Chaudhary, judge, Amazon Prime Mission Startup and founder, Wow Skin Science, and our moderator, Mr. I.S. Paul, director, Cedrus Bioproducts Private Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our esteemed and distinguished panelists, Mr. Nitish Jain, Mr. Manish Chaudhary, and our moderator, Mr. I.S. Paul. All yours, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Since time is less, we will be brief. Sorry, it's Nitin. Most of us sitting here have stars in their eyes, and we nurture dreams of being unicorns. We are fortunate to have these luminaries on how to, and to tell us how to become one, or how best to traverse this journey. Please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Nitin Jain of Business. Please. यार रोटी खा के आए हैं, उनका दोष दिखाओ. And Mr. Manish Chaudhary from Wow Skin Science. Please. I think we would change the format. Everybody sat, we will stand. So they would speak for 4 minutes each on themselves. I would ask them a few questions, and Harit has already asked me that our time is now been curtailed to 25 to 27 minutes. We will try to keep to that. So let me invite first Nitin Jain of Business.
Yeah, thank you so much, Paul Saab, and thank you so much, everyone, for inviting me to this wonderful event. तो मेरी जर्नी कुछ ऐसे शुरू हुई थी कि मैं कंप्यूटर साइंस ग्रेजुएट हूँ IIT दिल्ली 7 साल, फिर मैंने लंदन में बैंकिंग करी, और फिर जो अमन ने भी बात करी थी, वो चुल था अंदर से, वो किक था अंदर से कि कुछ अपना बनाना है, कुछ इम्पैक्टफुल बनाना है. तो 2015 में लंदन में सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के 7 फिगर पाउंड सैलरी एक्सेट्रा सब कुछ कंफर्ट जोन सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के आई केम बैक टू इंडिया में फिर हमने ये सोचा कि यार बड़ी B2C कंपनियां तो बड़ी चालू हो गई हैं, जोमेटो, फ्लिपकार्ट, अमेजॉन, स्विगी, ये सब कुछ तो चल ही रही हैं. हम कुछ ऐसा करते हैं जो कि 6 करोड़ SMEs के लिए फायदेमंद होगा, जो इंडिया का बैकबोन है, जो 60% GDP जनरेट करता है. हमने सोचा कि यार उसके लिए कुछ करते हैं, उसके प्रॉब्लम्स हम सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करते हैं. तो 2015 सितंबर में हमने ये अपनी जर्नी शुरू करी. मैं और 4 मेरे और कोलीग्स हैं, सो वी आर द फाउंडिंग टीम, एंड we started this company together. The company's name was Off Business, Order for Business, Order from Business. और हमने कहा था कि यार हम 2 पेन पॉइंट जो SMEs के होते हैं वो हम सॉल्व करेंगे. सबसे पहला वाला पेन पॉइंट ये होता है कि आपको रॉ मटेरियल सस्ता और अच्छा और बढ़िया कहाँ से मिलेगा. दैट्स द बिकॉज दे आर रिलायंट ऑन 3-4 वेंडर्स. दूसरा पेन पॉइंट होता है उसके लिए पैसा कहाँ से मिलेगा. अब बैंक्स होते हैं, बैंक्स आपको सिक्योर्ड लेंडिंग करते हैं, थोड़ी NBFCs होती है वो सिर्फ पैसा देते हैं. वी फाउंड अ वेरी गुड स्वीट स्पॉट. हमने कहा यार हम आपको पैसा भी देंगे और रॉ मटेरियल भी देंगे उस पैसे के अगेंस्ट. सो वी विल सॉल्व बोथ द प्रॉब्लम्स फॉर यू एट द सेम टाइम. सो वी आर नाउ वी बिकम decently big. This year we are going to be doing a turnover, and not many people know about us, so you'll be surprised about this. We are going to be doing a turnover of $3 billion. We are going to be generating a PAT of close to 750 crores. That's PAT. Not adjusted EBITDA, not nothing. We are going to be doing we are a profitable ventures. हम 7 सप्लाई चेन में हैं. हम मतलब इतने डाइवर्स सप्लाई चेन में हैं, स्टील में हैं, कंस्ट्रक्शन स्टील में हैं, पेट्रोकेमिकल्स, केमिकल्स, एग्री, पॉलीमर, टेक्सटाइल्स. So we are in several supply chains. We have now backward integrated into, after providing raw materials and financing करने के बाद कहा कि हम और क्या वैल्यू ऐड कर सकते हैं. हमने कहा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में चलते हैं जहाँ पे हम जो सप्लाई चेन है उसको खुद ही कंट्रोल करेंगे. तो हमने कंट्रोल करना शुरू किया सप्लाई चेन. पिछले 2 साल में हमने 25 यूनिट्स खड़ी करी और खरीदी या खड़ी करी, जिनको हम प्रॉफिटेबली रन कर रहे हैं. सबका टर्नओवर हमने ऑन एन एवरेज 2x कर दिया है. एंड वी आर नाउ सप्लाइंग फ्रॉम इंडिया टू 20 countries as well. So 80% of our revenue still comes from India, but 20% of our revenue is global, where we supply globally. And yeah, we are doing this through technology, which is the hardest thing to do. We've already got 1 million SMEs as our customers right now, and the aim is to get to about 1 crore SMEs in a short period of time, let's say in the next 3, 4, 5 years. But that's the ultimate aim. And so we are set out to just solve this particular sector, which has been not in the forefront of innovation. स्टार्टअप सोचते हो आप, D2C स्टार्टअप सोचते हो आप, B2C सोचते हो आप, प्रोडक्ट सोचते हो जो कंज्यूमर प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं. हमने कहा SMEs के लिए कुछ करेंगे. So that will be really impactful. So that's a little bit of the story about Off Business. And now Manish.
Paul, so thank you so much. You're making a stand. Reminds me of my school days, but it's post-lunch. I think we all need some exercise. But I'm Manish. I'm the founder of Wow Skin Science. Prior to Wow, I was a failed entrepreneur as a starting point, right? So I had a business which went bust. I usually have great starts in my business. I love to be on top of whatever I do, want to be a number 1, number 2 on whatever we do. Unfortunately, that business went bust in 2011-12. I'm a South Indian Punjabi, and I proudly say that. I came to Punjab for the first time 10 years back, and the starting point of creating Wow is also, Wow is very close to us because our first unit of manufacturing was in Himachal, Parwanu. So I always had to pass through Mohali airport to go to Parwanu, but this state is very close to us. not too sure if everybody knows about WOW, but we are a health and beauty new age brand built on the internet. We were one of the first initial new age brands to be created on Amazon, right, in 2014-15. And those days, you know, it was something hard for consumers to buy health and beauty products online. And health and beauty is one category where consumers want to feel touch before buying. So we broke that trust barrier with consumers to buy us online. And we built a pretty large business over the last 10 years. We just celebrated our 10 years of existence last month. We've got two of the largest PE investors, Chris Capital and GIC, which is the sovereign fund of Singapore, backing us. But, you know, it's initial days for all of us as new age founders. But want to inspire a lot of people in our category, brands which I can't mention openly on stage, took them 27 to 28 years to do 100 crores of turnover. You're seeing new age brands being created on the internet, doing it in 3 years plus. So times have changed. I think India is really in a, I'm a strong believer that the next 10, 15 years is going to be something special coming out of our country on creating brands. We are such an understarved nation on having great consumer brands that you're going to see some amazing brands over time. But I also want to tell you one thing, that WOW, which was created close to Punjab, which is in Himachal, is the only health and beauty brand in Walmart USA. We are in close to 1,500 stores in the US. So anything is possible for Indian homegrown brands that we can make it large. But really excited to be here. Would love to answer whatever questions you have for us.
We have about
80 minutes.
About 18 minutes. I would start with the first question. Brilliant thinking is rare, but courage is even shorter supply than genius. You agree?
या देखिए करेज तो बहुत ज़्यादा चाहिए होता है. करेज के साथ साथ कन्विक्शन भी चाहिए होता है और हार्ड वर्क बहुत ज़्यादा ही चाहिए होता है. सो आई एम अ बिग प्रोपोनेंट कि देखो करेज वगैरह ठीक है. यू नीड टू बी करेजियस टू एक्चुअली लीव व्हाटएवर यू डूइंग टू बिगिन योर ओन कंपनी, टू स्टार्ट अप. You need to have a strong conviction about the market and yourself as well, right? सबसे ज़्यादा conviction अपने बारे में चाहिए होता है. मगर उससे ज़्यादा I believe it's all about hard work, right? So unless you are ready to slog out 17, 18 hours a day, non-stop for 5-6 years in a row, first 5-6 years in a row, then you know startup is probably not for you. If you're not ready to do that, startup is not for you. But if you're ready to really slog out, so it's more than courage, sir. I believe it's about conviction, and it's more about the hard work that you can put in and your willingness to put in the hard work, because many people don't they think that हाँ मैं startup बन जाऊँगा, मेरे को conviction है, मेरा जज्बा है और जिगर है, मगर हार्ड वर्क के टाइम पे वो कहते हैं यार चलो ठीक है सैटरडे संडे ऑफ ले लेते हैं, फैमिली फंक्शन है बाद में देखेंगे, ये सब कुछ है. सो वो सैक्रिफाइसेस बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं इन माय ओपिनियन.
Yeah, so ideas are very critical, but how's the execution is the most toughest. And being an entrepreneur, I think anything we do, it always has to be with thinking out of the box. I can give you a small example in our place. We are competing, when I started off on Amazon, selling in 2015, 2016, we had 35,000 brands to compete with. How do you compete with 35,000 plus brands? Today, I think it must be close to 1 lakh plus. You have to have an idea which is out of the box, which is cutting edge, and in today's world, product is not everything, which is the most important. It's the stories what we tell. And with great ideas, you need great execution. Complying a lot on what Nitin said is, I think, entrepreneurship is a great journey. It's one of the most satisfying journey for an individual, but you got to be prepared that there's going to be tons of ups and downs. Failure is inevitable. You have to embrace it. And nobody remembers the hard work, what you did. They only look at what you did right when you were successful. So it's a chicken and egg situation.
Right. You see, a new company's most important strength is new thinking. Is this confined to founders or does it pervade through the organization?
या तो सर हमने एक चीज देखी है कि the thinking may originate from the top, from the founders, etc., but it has to percolate down to the last person out there in the organization. Now, if you don't have that culture of that particular DNA, so the DNA that we have is that of innovation and execution. That's the DNA that we have in our organization, and that's probably led us to create 2 unicorns. One in the financing world, one in the distribution world. So we are combined valued at close to 5.5 billion. So the only thing that really has got us going from the beginning is the fact that the thinking of the founders matches the thinking of the literally the last person in the organization, or the last person that has joined the organization. Now that culture needs to be imbibed from day one. Now if the culture is missing, if that DNA is missing, then it's going to be all over the place. Because then you're not going to have the next line. Then you won't have time for innovation thinking. Then founders will be doing all the thinking, everyone else will be doing the doing without really realizing why they're doing what they're doing. I think that thinking, that why of the organization, that culture of the organization has to be set from day one, and that has to be percolated down to the last mile. Otherwise, you won't get the next line of rung of leaders. For us, we hire freshers from universities, and we basically give them a canvas. But we tell them that, listen, the vision is this, and now go and do the magic. But these are the cultural values that we will imbibe. Stay within these cultural values and imbibe these and internalize these. So that's what we advise.
Excellent. How many people do you employ today?
So we got 1,500 people across, and if you include all the, all our plants, etc., then it's more than 7,500 people.
Excellent. 7,500?
7,500 people.
7,500 for $5.5 billion valuation.
Yes.
Great, isn't it? Manish?
So my story will be a lot more, which will resonate with a lot here. Most of us, I bet, must be bootstrapping here. And I didn't understand what is creating an organization or building leadership till the time I got funded for the first time. There'll be tons in this room who will not be understanding what a value of a leadership comes on board.
Right.
But, when Chris Capital put in the first capital check with us, he said, I'm only investing into 3 people. That is myself, Karan, and we had another head of sales. And I hope that you can institutionalize the company.
Right.
But the initial journey of a founder who's building something, it's about the founder's love on what foundation you lay from there. And then you need to fit in your organizational vision that you will have this kind of leadership and kind of people who take your vision to the next level.
Right.
But it's very important, and I've gone through that journey over the last 2-3 years, that how does a founder start taking a seat back and letting the leadership be empowered a lot more,
right.
which is also something to thrive in an organization, and which is very important for the futures of the future of the organization.
Right, absolutely. Long-term planning is often undervalued by our indefinite short-term world. Long-term planning starts with asking yourself, what will the world look like 10 or 12 years from now, and how my business will fit it then? You thought about it?
Yeah, so sir, everyone really thinks about it, but I think more importantly, you need to think about why do you exist. I think, so I'll tell you a very quick anecdote, and so पहले 1 साल में हमें पता ही नहीं था why we exist, right? हम बस माल बेचते थे, हम स्टील बेचते थे, but हमें ये नहीं समझ आ रहा था कि are we another distributor? What are we? So it took us about 1 year to figure out our why, and then once we got the why right in our head कि हमारा moat क्या है, हम कहाँ exist करते हैं, क्यों exist करते हैं, then the long-term vision also became very, very clear. Then you are able to plan 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line that this is how we want our company to look like. This is how we want to shape the industry that we are in, because you obviously bring about a lot of that's the aim. You bring about a lot of modification in the industry. You bring about a little bit of behavior change. But you can't do that unless and until you figure out that initial why. कि हम exist क्यों करते हैं? मतलब हम company क्यों चला रहे हैं? That why is important. People generally focus on the what and the how. But it's very important to focus on the why, and then automatically क्या होता है, आपका long term vision जो है clearer होता चलता है. जब तक हमने 1 साल तक नहीं किया था, हम तो बहुत short term vision में थे. हम ये थे कि अगले महीने कितना revenue करेंगे. इतना हमें इसके आगे planning समझ ही नहीं आ रही थी. कि पहले एक साल के लिए हम फिगर आउट कर रहे थे कि वाई क्या है हमारा, हम एग्जिस्ट क्यों करते हैं, हम एसएमईज को क्या फायदा पहुंचाने वाले हैं, आर वी जस्ट अनदर बैंक, एनबीएफसी, आर वी जस्ट अनदर मटेरियल सप्लायर, हु आर वी? And then once we figured out that sweet spot where we want to operate in and why they would value us, the long-term, planning also became clear. कि 5 साल के बाद we would like to see the ecosystem of SMEs behave like this and order like this and interact like this with us or with other NBFCs or SMEs.
But sir, अगर why clear नहीं था तो 4 आदमी 5 आदमी इकट्ठे कैसे हुए?
So why, उसके लिए सर कभी भी बिजनेस मॉडल के अंदर इनिशियल जब आप स्टार्ट करते हो स्टार्टअप, वाई किसी का भी क्लियर नहीं होता, राइट? किसी का भी क्लियर नहीं होता. बिजनेस मॉडल तो बहुत दूर की बात होती है. आप बिजनेस मॉडल सबसे पहले स्टार्टअप में 3 या 4 बारी या 5 बारी पिवट होता है, राइट? कभी भी आप इनिशियल एक आइडिया के साथ स्टार्ट करते हो, कभी भी आइडिया आपको 6 महीने बाद वो कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट आइडिया मिलेगा, right? So in this I'm talking about most of the startups, not talking about all the startups. There may be 5-10% of the startups that actually don't change their business models and they know what they want to do. But for us, it was just about the sector that we wanted to operate in. We said 5 smart लोग बैठेंगे एक रूम में, figure out कर लेंगे सेक्टर की प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है, उसको efficiently solve कैसे करना है. हमने बस ये किया और 1 साल हमें लगा why ढूंढने में, and we gave us that kind of time. I think that's important.
That is important.
So I'm a consumer brand, so stories are different. But I've seen it over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I think defensibilities of each brand, businesses are, the dynamism of how rapidly businesses are changing.
Right.
I think you'll have to have everybody's here for the long term, let's be honest point of view. Yeah, you do get investors who come and say that, I have a horizon for 5 to 7 years, so you got to play according to that sticky wicket. But in a consumer business, I've seen so much dramatical changes, even from consumer behaviors. Like today, we are new age brands as well as the old age brands. What we would say is are fighting a Gen Z kind of environment where consumers are coming, where their taste and what they're looking at brands has completely changed. When we started off in 2015, 2016, Amazon was your go-to-go. Now you got your e-commerce, quick commerce coming and disrupting them. So India is a dynamic place to do business. I don't see any founder who's coming in and building a business for the short term. It's a recipe for disaster. It has to be a long-term horizon view, but also looking at seeing how agile and adaptable are you in that journey, which is so important, right? Like how Nitin said, 5 people in the room. Right. It's not disaster management or crisis management. It's about what's the best way forward of how do you flourish in these kind of channels. So things are rapidly changing. And how do you be adaptable is something which is a short-term outlook, what I would say. I think long-term, most of us will do well, but you have to continuously pivot.
Innovate yourself.
Innovate, re-innovate yourself. I don't think so innovation is any more key. Brands like us who are going to be spending a decade plus are now also thinking about how do you re-innovate yourself.
Absolutely. Right. Thanks. If you want an effective board, keep it small. You agree with that?
So starting में तो जब कंपनी छोटी होती है सर तो बोर्ड छोटा ही होता है because you don't want too many होता है ना too many cooks spoil the broth वाली बात होती है. But once the company starts becoming bigger and bigger, then I believe you need a lot more perspective and a lot more guidance from various aspects. So our board is currently approximately 10 people, right? Exactly 10 people I would say, not approximately. I think that's needed as well. So as you become bigger and bigger, you need more independent directors on your board to actually help you govern better, and so that there are no corporate governance issues and so on and so forth.
Right.
So I think at the beginning it's okay to have a smaller board, but as you keep getting bigger, you should be open to increasing your board so that you get different perspectives, and independents are extremely important to guide you, in a non prejudicial manner. Right. So they should be able to really give you that particular advice without thinking कि मेरे investment का क्या होगा.
Correct.
So that's important.
Most of us run private limited companies here. I bet we don't do board meetings here.
Right.
So I was even one of them, just till the time the investors came in. But I think board members are great. They add value. It's about how much you can absorb and what you shouldn't as founders also, because you can get into a wrong completely track, right? At the end of the day, founder knows his business well than the investor coming on board. So smaller board is always good for early stage companies, mid stage companies. In the same camp, having more, you'll be going all around with different agendas and interests of people. Independent board of directors are critical when you're building a great board, they add value. And having a great board also gives you great valuations also of your company, because it's a premium. You know about good governance, you know about the best SOPs you run for your business. At our end, it's a small board. We have 2 large investors. I'm very clear point of view is that we're a consumer brand. We don't want too many people in it, but keeping it small. And I urge also anyone running a private limited company without a board, you guys should at least try to exhibit or have a small demo about how a board meeting happens, because it'll prepare you for the future.
Yeah, you should, I mean, I would also encourage you to set up a small board where you should invite people from, let's say, one similar industry and some other industry to give you a good perspective and be open to sharing stuff with them. So, you know, it will really help you out in the long term.
The single largest danger for a founder is to become so certain of his own myth that he loses his mind. Are you mindful of this?
Yeah, you need to be mindful that अगर आप बहुत जल्दी ग्रो कर रहे हो तो वो एक बार सर पे ना चढ़ जाए वो
point
जो आपका जो सक्सेस है या फिर जो भी वैल्यूएशन मेट्रिक जो होती है वो सर पे ना चढ़ जाए एंड यू नीड टू बी अवेयर ऑफ योर लॉन्ग टर्म विजन आई थिंक ये थोड़ा सा आप सब लोगों को ग्लोब लगेगा बट when you're really in there executing towards your vision, then all these are vanity metrics कि क्या valuation पे आती है क्या कौन board member आ रहा है कौन नहीं आ रहा है. Ultimately it's a long term vision and long term goal that really matters and you have to stick to it no matter what, right? So it shouldn't be that आप 1 billion की कंपनी बन गए तो आप ऐसा सोचना शुरू कर जाओगे, आप 5 billion की कंपनी कर गए तो ऐसा सोचना शुरू कर जाओगे. Your core values have to remain the same and then the founder has to be really mindful of that and have his or her feet firmly on the ground. I think that's extremely important.
So you won't let it get to your head.
I mean, once अगर कुछ भी सिर पे चढ़ जाता है, तो then you can. It's a recipe for disaster, and we are seeing with a couple of startups that is happening right now.
Right.
I don't know if this is the reason, but this is part of the reason for sure.
Right. Manish?
10 good years and 1 bad year, you will not be remembered for all your 10.
Absolutely.
So, at my end, for sure, once you have reached the stage, you got validation of great people joining you. You got great investors validating you that you've reached there. But when you come to that stage, it's very important that you come to terms with yourself that remember you've got a lot of people's responsibility. So you got to act responsible at the end of the day.
Right.
So that's something which I am very cautious about.
You are.
And definitely being grounded is something which is very important because early success is always a scam, is what this is. What you build over time is the real success.
It's durable one.
So एक और चीज़ मैं इसमें ऐड करना चाहूँगा पॉल साहब कि हमने जब स्टार्ट करी थी कंपनी तो हमने ये वायदा किया था कि हम accessible to everyone होंगे. It's going to be open door policy. So because of that, we didn't have a cabin culture, right? No matter how senior or junior executive you are, or even if you're a founder, you will not have any cabins, right? Everyone is supposed to sit outside. There'll be meeting rooms, of course, where you can do meetings. You know, so even after 9 years, we've stuck to that gun. Right, so we have our feet firmly on the ground that, again, no matter if you're earning X lakhs or if you have certain designation, if you're a CXO, if you are a head of sales, you will still not get a cabin. Work outside like everyone, be accessible and have an open door policy. So that's something that we maintain.
Be grounded.
Be very grounded.
Right. Absolutely. I'm left with 3-4 minutes. So let me give you my bit. Mr. Piyush Goyal, Commerce Minister at the center, in the curtain raiser to Startup Mahakumbh, he said that by 2047, India would be a $35 trillion company. You know how much we are at today? 3.2. 3.2 trillion economy would be by 2047 a $35 trillion economy, and Indian startups would be the backbone to achieve that landmark. Now, from US, the statistics are available only on unicorns, but not startups. 50% of those total unicorns are in IT, fintech, and insurance. I do not have the figures for India or China, but I guess would it be 70 to 75% in IT, fintech, and insurance? Would I be right in saying that? So whatever that figure is, the point is that if we have to achieve that $35 trillion mark, in that event, we would have to be much more diversely based, and we would have to be in pharma, in healthcare, manufacturing, education, infrastructure, logistics, biotechnology, you name it. But we would have to be going beyond the internet, the IT, and the like. We must then generate more new ideas, more intellectual property, and must apply for, and this is my pet topic always, apply for more patents. In 2022, we applied for 68,000 patents in India. How many patents did China apply for? Any guess? 1 million, you said? Yeah? You're right, almost. 1.5 million. 68,000 is what we have done. They have applied for 1.5 million patents. US did 500,000. So we must produce more ideas, innovate more, and if we are to become a $35 trillion company, we must bedazzle the world with the power of our new ideas. And for doing that, we must have belief and faith in him and ourselves as to what we can do. Yaqeen is faith, belief. Rahat Indori said that yaqeen kiya to ye jana ke yaqeen mein kya kya hai. Yaqeen kiya to ये जाना कि यकीन में क्या क्या है, ये आसमान से पूछो कि ज़मीन में क्या क्या है. We have on Zameen people, luminaries like them, who are the torch bearers of the ideas revolution. We thank you for being here, for enlightening us, and with your thoughts and with your guidance. It's an honor for us to have heard you and for me to have shared the dais with you. After lunch, sorry, we were a little delayed. You must have felt some hunger for food. But if it is also more hunger for being path breakers for what you have heard and what you're going to hear, the purpose of this TiECon would have been well served. Thanks for coming.
In fact, sir, since we ended on a note that talked about faith, so I'm reminded of something which goes something like this, ki jo, I've forgotten that, but yeah, I recall it again, कि ज़िंदगी ही तो है, जो होगा संभाल लेंगे, right? With faith, all of that is possible. And may I request Mr. Partap Krishna Aggarwal, founder and CEO, IDS Infotech, to felicitate our respected panel. He's here. Pratap sir, may I request you to felicitate the panel? Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Mr. Nitin Jain, founder of Business. Ladies and gentlemen, please also give it up for Mr. Manish Chaudhary, judge, Amazon Prime Mission startup and founder, Wow Skin Science. And for our moderator, Mr. I.S. Paul, director, Cedrus Bioproducts Private Limited. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much. And on that note, with thoughts of faith in our mind, let's move on to the next conversation. They say that you should shoot for the moon. Even if you miss it, you will certainly land among the stars. It's perhaps best to make way with full